Hey guys, I'm in the garage today and I'm finally going to get started on a project that I've been putting off literally for years. I've had this shifter relocation kit from SQ Engineering. Comes with a few different pieces to get my shifter in the correct factory position for the 86. I've had it sitting around on the shelf, like I said, for years, and I've just been putting it off, but I'll show you what I'm working with inside the car. So the shifter is in the stock position right now, which sits extremely far back compared to right around here where the factory shifter is supposed to sit. And that will allow me to then run my factory plastics, complete the center console and the factory shift boot so that, actually goes in that way, but so that it looks a lot more complete in here and cleans up the interior a lot, since I have worked so hard to get the rest of the interior cleaned up, restored all the seats and the door cards, and put carpet in and gathered all the other plastics. It only makes sense that I tie this all together. I've been putting it off for far too long, but I am doing a video with a friend for his YouTube channel on Monday, so I thought this was a great time for me to actually make it look a little more presentable. The only other thing I have to do while we're at it is I have this brake line that comes from underneath the car into the cabin, and it actually goes out the back side of the firewall. In order to actually be able to have the plastics in there, I'll need to reroute this. So that's another thing that I've been putting it off for because I just didn't want to deal with it. So this is the brake line I'm going to have to pull and get that removed so I can get it routed correctly. And I'm hoping that if I just pull this out, which you can see it's not bolted down, and maybe pull the carpet back a little bit, I'll be able to access everything on the transmission without actually having to do anything too crazy like drop the transmission or hopefully not even get the car off the ground. I'll be able to show you how it all goes together a little better once I actually get the transmission exposed and get the shifter out. We've got this piece right there that'll mount on top of the transmission, and it has these little dowels that go into the holes on the top of the transmission to hold it still. We'll bolt that in, and then your shifter has these two slots right there on either side that are going to fit inside there where those two pins are to hold it into place. And that will sit just like that. And then this piece right here will slide into the back of the transmission, come in underneath here, and grab onto the shifter so that you can shift it in the factory location. Like I said, I've got the hardware here, and then on this there's going to be a roll pin and a bolt that goes in right here to secure this to the shifter on the transmission internally. So I'm going to start tearing into this and see if we can get this done fairly easily here. All right, so I was a little bit eager to do it without getting the car off the ground, but I realized I can't do that, and I'll show you why. The OEM shifter has a bracket that comes down on both sides. There's two 12mm bolts that need to come off right here in order for it to come out. And I've already loosened them, so they should come off pretty easy now. All right, so I got both of those out. Now I should be able to get the rest from the top. First thing I need to do is start cutting away some of the sound deadening that I have in here, and I'm hoping that it should come out pretty easy with this little knife right here. It's got that butyl backing on the backside of the sound deadening, so it's really, really sticky. And I put this in about 4 years ago, so see how easy it is to get out. Hey, there it is. Now there's just a couple of 12mm that should come out right here. Now I've removed the 4 10mm bolts that hold the shifter on, just so I can have a little extra room to work with. All right, so I pulled the shifter bracket out. It was just actually getting hung up on the two dowels that go into the transmission here, so I'll actually need to pull this one out and put it back in the hole that it was in, because the new shifter relocation is going to mount up right here and it mounts into the dowels. So I need to pull the other dowel out, get it in there so that I can get the new kit in there. And then there's a 12mm bolt down here and the roll pin that I need to get out to be able to slide the shifter out. All right, so I've got the shifter completely off now, and now I just need to install this piece right here that goes over it to bring the shifter forward. And I might need to drop the transmission a little bit. I had to drop it a little bit already just to get that off, but I might have to drop it a little bit more. I'll see if I can. Oh, no, I just got it. I'll get it snugged up in there a little better, and then I'll just have to put that roll pin back in and that other bolt, and it'll be ready to go. All right, so now I've got this piece right here mounted where you can see the dowels that they include that slip right into those two holes on the transmission. And then we have these 4 T30 bolts that go in to all 4 corners on this. And then you've got your 4 holes right here where the shifter is going to bolt right back in. So I have a couple different shifters, and I was looking at the shifter bushing that goes on it, and this one's fairly new. The other one looks pretty good. Yeah, maybe I'll go look at the other one again real quick. Yeah, this one still feels the best, so I'm going to put this one back in. And again, you've got these 2 slots on the shifter that are going to fit in between the 2 pegs on the mount right there. All right, so there it is, all installed, looking real good. And now I just need to move the brake line here so that I can actually get all the console plastics in and have it looking normal again. All right, so I got the last section of brake line out. It's kind of twisted up because I had to pull it right through the firewall. And I'm not an expert at bending brake lines, but I do have a little tool. I'll go grab it. Got this guy. I haven't really used it much. I've used it a couple times. And my hair's out of control from crawling under the car. I've got this tool, used it a few times. You can bend it in different angles. So I've got the other end that this came off of that was teed in right there at the console. I got that tucked into the trans tunnel, so now I just need to make this thing fit and bleed the brakes, and I should be all done with this project. All right, so I finished everything up. Finally got all the plastics installed and shifters in place with the new truss knob on there. And it's just amazing what one piece of plastic can do for the feel of the interior. It looks so much better in here. I can't believe I sat on this for 2 years having the parts sitting around and I haven't done this. So really excited about this. Got the new truss knob on there because I really don't think the old knob would actually work. I think it'd probably slam up into the dash with how big it was. Plus, I think this looks great. I mean, who doesn't love the truss knob? And while I was at it, I put in a fresh new console lid just to tie everything together. The only thing I have left to do is I need to bleed the brakes, and that'll be it. I'll be back on the road. So I got all the brake lines ran last night. So it's this one right here. Again, like I said, I'm not the best with brakes or whatever, but I did use my tool to loop it around so that it can fit in here and it's tucked away and not gonna get in the way of anything. Thanks for watching this. Hopefully I'll have another video up soon. I actually have one that I intended to post before this that goes over explaining the whole roof rack on this car and the tent setup. So I'll get that up here soon. And if you really liked this video or found it helpful, like, comment, or subscribe on this video. It really means a lot. We'll see you next time.